Fred Vasseur is no longer staying silent. The Ferrari team principal has just exploded with a brutally direct message that's taken the entire Formula One world by surprise. No more polished interviews. No more protecting the drivers. After a weekend of chaos in Montreal, where the entire Ferrari operation seemed to implode in front of the world, Vasseur has finally drawn the line. And it's clear, he's furious. Triggered this reaction wasn't just a bad result on paper. It was the now infamous, raw, and painfully honest radio messages from Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc that leaked after the race. Messages that revealed far more than just frustration. They exposed a complete collapse in communication between the drivers and the pit wall. And for the first time, Vasseur hasn't tried to shield his drivers from the fallout. In fact, he's calling them out, because what happened in Canada wasn't an isolated error. A weekend riddled with mistakes. Leclerc crashing in practice. Qualifying thrown away due to miscommunication. And on race day, total disarray. Hamilton reporting a mysterious loss of power and braking instability, shouting "out of power, out of pace," while his engineer claimed everything was quite balanced. Leclerc, meanwhile, was left fuming after being boxed without warning, snapping back at his team. "I just told you tyres were fine." It sounded like a team not working together, but working against itself. And now, after those radio conversations went public, Fred Vasseur isn't just angry about the result. He's angry about how the team is being portrayed. In his most revealing post-race comments to date, he said the problem wasn't just bad luck, it was the direct consequence of too many mistakes, too much pressure, and a team that's losing its grip under the weight of expectations. He's placed blame not just on the garage crew, but also on the drivers themselves. Vasseur made it crystal clear, both Hamilton and Leclerc are under immense pressure. And that pressure is affecting judgment, communication, and cohesion. His tone wasn't defensive. It was sharp, stern, like a team boss who's tired of excuses and wants change now. And when asked about the radio drama, he didn't deny it. He didn't sugarcoat it. He confirmed the tension. He admitted the failure. And he warned that without calm, unity and trust, Ferrari is in danger of tearing itself apart from the inside out. This isn't just about poor results. It's about a leadership crisis in the middle of a championship battle, a clash of egos, expectations, and execution that has boiled over at the worst possible time. And the scariest part, the damage might already be done. Because when the team principal starts publicly criticizing the very drivers meant to lead Ferrari into a new golden era, you know something is seriously broken. So what happens next? Can Vasseur regain control? Will Hamilton and Leclerc trust the team again? Or are we witnessing the beginning of a total breakdown between two of the biggest names in F1 and the most iconic team on the grid? Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay until the end, because what happens in the next race could be more than just a performance test. It could be a defining moment for the future of Ferrari. The disaster we witnessed on Sunday didn't erupt out of nowhere. It was the boiling point of a storm Ferrari had been brewing quietly since Friday. It began with a huge blow. Charles Leclerc's crash in FP1 left the team flying blind with only one car collecting data. For a team supposedly battling at the front, that's not just inconvenient, it's unacceptable. That early setback disrupted their entire preparation. But the worst was yet to come. During qualifying, Leclerc was on a flyer, fastest in Sector 1, when suddenly he backed off. Why? Traffic. But not just any traffic. Traffic his team never warned him about. That moment summed up everything that's going wrong. Miscommunication. Lack of awareness. Ferrari didn't just miss an opportunity, they handed it away. Race day was supposed to be a reset. Instead, it became a masterclass in dysfunction. Lewis Hamilton started ahead of Leclerc and looked ready to lead Ferrari's charge. But immediately, something felt off. His engineer warned him mid-race The telemetry showed a downforce loss. 20 points missing, he was told. Hamilton, confused and concerned, asked whether it was the rear. He was told the car looked balanced. That moment was surreal. Hamilton was clearly battling a car that wasn't behaving, and yet the pit wall told him everything was normal. From that point on, the situation spiraled. "Why is this car so slow?" he radioed. Out of power, out of pace. He sounded less angry and more stunned, like someone who couldn't believe the tools he'd been given. When informed he was over 20 seconds behind his teammate, he fired back, "Where have I lost 25 seconds?" It wasn't just frustration. It was disbelief. Leclerc, he meanwhile, was trapped in his own pit wall nightmare. When Ferrari told him to switch to Plan B, his reply was sharp and immediate. "I think Plan C." He no longer asked questions. He gave instructions. The final straw came when he was called into the pits mid-race. "Why have we boxed?" he demanded. "We're on Plan B," came the reply. But Leclerc wasn't having it. "Yeah, but I was just telling you tyres were fine." That line hit harder than anything. It wasn't just a disagreement, it was a statement of broken trust. He'd communicated clearly. The team ignored him. Again. Then came the bombshell. In a post-race interview that no one saw coming, Fred Vasseur let it all out. There was no sugarcoating, no protecting the brand. Vasseur said what everyone was already thinking. The weekend had been a disaster on every level. He pointed to the lack of preparation, the errors in qualifying, and the confusion in race strategy. "Too many mistakes," he admitted. "It's too much for a single weekend." But the most shocking moment came when he admitted that Ferrari didn't know how long the medium tyres could last. They were improvising. At this level of racing, with this level of talent in the cockpit, that kind of uncertainty is a scandal. This was the moment Vasseur stopped defending and started drawing battle lines. For the first time, he publicly acknowledged that pressure was mounting on everyone, including the drivers. He suggested that the tone of the radios and the decisions made during the race were symptoms of deeper issues inside Ferrari's operations. In short, the house is not in order. And Vasseur's tone made one thing clear. He's had enough. Leclerc and Hamilton were not throwing tantrums. They were giving real-time feedback on a car and a strategy that made no sense. And Vasseur didn't dismiss their frustrations. He echoed them. He confirmed what their voices had already told us over the radio. The team is in chaos. And now the fallout begins. The pit wall is under scrutiny. The drivers are visibly tense. And Vasseur, he's not hiding behind slogans. He's letting the world know that Ferrari needs to wake up, immediately. Because this isn't just about what happened in Montreal. It's about what's coming next. Ferrari doesn't just need to fix their strategy. They need to fix their culture, their execution, their identity. The radio messages were just a symptom. The real disease is a lack of structure, clarity, and leadership when it matters most. The Scuderia now finds itself at a crossroads. Hamilton came to Ferrari to build a legacy, not to waste his final years in a car that can't fight. Leclerc has spent half a decade believing in the project, and now even he is beginning to question everything. If Ferrari can't offer answers in the next few races, this might be more than just a slump. It might be the start of a collapse. And that's why this moment, this very public implosion, matters so much. Because it's no longer about lap times. It's about direction. It's about belief. And most importantly, it's about whether the team's leadership still has the trust of the drivers they rely on most. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Because what happens next won't just decide the outcome of a championship. It might decide the fate of Ferrari's entire future in Formula One. And trust us, it's only just beginning.